Okay, so we're going to do functional notation. So basically f of x, it's the same thing as y equals, but we're going to use f of x or even g of x for most of this chapter. Now f of x, the function of x, is equal to 7 times x minus 13. In this question they say find f of 4, so I'm going to rewrite it, f of 4, and replace all the x's with the 4. So multiply, 7 times 4 is 28, minus 13, f of 4 is 15. And you can even write it as an ordered pair. 4 is the x, y is the 15. So whatever they give us inside the brackets, we're going to replace it and just calculate the answer. This one's a little trickier, and it's got a negative, and it's got an x squared. So all the x's are replaced with negative 2. Notice that the negative and the 2 goes inside brackets. The negative has to be squared as well as the 2. If you don't use brackets, you're probably going to mess up in the calculator. So negative 2 squared is 4. Negative times negative. So the final answer, we start with negative 2. The answer is 10. So basically, the function is starting with something, we plug it in, we do the calculations, and we get the answer. If we start with negative 2, we finish with 10. So something a little harder, because now we're going to combine it. If f equals 15 and g equals 5, so the next one we've got here, we've got a little bit more complicated. We've got this one and this one, and we're adding them together. And the tricky part is it's just an x. We don't actually have a number for this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these two functions and add them together. So that's f of x. G of x is x minus 5. And we need to add these two together. Now with a plus sign, we don't need the brackets, but it's good to remember that there's actual brackets before we add them. So x plus x equals 2x. 15 minus 5 is 10. So f plus gx, 2x plus 10. This time we're going to subtract them. So x plus 15 is f of x. We're going to subtract, and when we're subtracting, this is where the brackets are really important. We're subtracting the x, and we're subtracting negative 5. So x plus x is still 2x, and 15 minus negative 5 is 20. So f minus gx is 2x plus 20. It's a little more complicated on this one. We're going to multiply. So I'm going to put both in brackets and FOIL them out. X times x, 15 times x, negative 5 times x, minus 5 times 15. And we finish off by simplifying. We combine like terms into 10x. So that's f times g, and the last one, f divided by g. Now this one I can't do any factoring. I can't cancel anything, so there's my final answer. So be careful with the order. With multiplication, it doesn't matter which one goes first. If we're dividing, the f has to go on top, the g has to go on bottom. So keep in mind, these are called combinations. We are taking two functions, and it tells us what to do. In this case, we're adding them. So I'm just going to go to f and g, 5x plus 2x, 7 minus 9. 5x minus 2x, 7 minus negative 9. Remember, two negatives make a positive. The hardest one is the multiplying. I'm going to put brackets around it. So FOIL it out, multiply all pieces, combine like terms, and we're done. F times g of x is this trinomial. And I'll move this one down here. Division. Now, if you can factor it first, see if you can simplify. But in this case, we can't factor anything here. We're done. This time, we have a slightly different one. We're going to add it again. That's the first one. But now we have a number. So our two options are, we can add the two functions together first, then put a 3 into the x. The other option is we can put 3 into the f function and the g function, find the answers, and then add them together. So let's try the first method. We add the two functions together. We've got f of x, g of x. F plus g is 4x plus x. Then we take the 3. We get our answer. The other option was to plug the 3 into both. So f of x is 11, or f of 3 is 11, g of 3 is 5, and if we add them, we get the same answer. So your choice, do you want to add the functions first, then evaluate the number, or evaluate both of them with the chosen number, then do what it says. In this case, it's adding them. So you choose your method, then go with that. So this time we're going to subtract, and we're going to subtract f minus h. Now, because there's an x squared, it might just be easier to put the numbers in. So now, one thing to point out, anytime you take a negative into a squared, you've got to put that negative in brackets and square both the negative and the number. So in this case, a square will always come out positive. We get that. Now it's telling us to do f minus h, so I'm going to take minus 9 minus negative 1. And we get our answer. So on to C. This time we're multiplying, and we're using the number 4. We're evaluating with 4. So g is x plus 2. H is x squared minus 5. So we've got to FOIL this out, multiply all it, and I'll do that now. And actually, because there's an x squared, it's probably easier just to plug the 4 in, evaluate 4 into both, and then multiply. And there we go. So this time we're going to do f divided by g. So f divided by g equals 3. I'm going to try two harder ones. Division. This time we have an x squared, so we have to factor it before we can do anything. So if I factor this, it's a difference of squares. This is a trinomial, so I look at the last term, I list all the factor pairs, and I find this is my option. So I factored both. Now I'm going to take f divided by g. The x minus 4 binomials cancel. So f divided by g is x plus 4 divided by x plus 7. This one's almost the same, but we're going in a different order. So I'm going to put the g on top. It's pretty much the same answer. It's just the reciprocal. It's upside down because we're doing g divided by f. So factor first, cancel,